channel, and it's been a while, but I'm so happy to be back. I just started my second semester and it's been a bit hectic, but yeah, I thought I would let you know, for those who are interested, and what the visa application process is like, and what even the visa interview is like as a DAAD scholar. So I have my notes here, so if I'm looking now, I'm looking at my notes. So yeah, let's just get right into the video. So let's backtrack on the timeline. So I applied for a visa interview date, I think around let me say February thereabout, and then I got a date. And when you apply, there are categories, so they would ask you, are you a scholarship holder? If you say yes, you'll be placed in category A. And also, just a disclaimer, I'm aware that the process has changed and it's all like online now. And yeah, I know that you have to have all your documents before you can really be placed on a waiting list. I know the process has changed right now, but I'm sure the visa interview process would remain the same as a DAAD scholar. But I just want to share my experience with you, how mine went, so that at least you could glean some information that's relevant to you. Yeah, so I got placed in category A because I'm a DAAD scholar. So I would say my process was a bit fast tracked than others. So I got a date for March. Yeah, I got a visa interview date for March. I think it was 20 something March. And so yeah, so how did I start preparing? I think you have to go to the website, the German consulate website, to see what kind of documents they require. And so I listed them all down. Of course, if you're a DAAD scholar, some documents will not be relevant to you, like the blocked account and all those things. But yeah, let's just list them out. So I think the first and most important one is your passport, and it has to have at least 6 months left on it. Yeah, and then I also had to take with me a visa appointment letter. So when I applied, and then I got a response from them, with them allocating to me a date, that's the visa appointment letter. So I printed that letter out from my email. It's an email that they sent you, so I printed that email out. I think you even need to show this email or this letter to them before you can be granted entry into the consulate, because it's like you don't have an appointment, so why are you there? So you need this appointment letter with you. And then also the digital passport size photos. I sent like 5, but I think they only need 1. And then there's this thing called a Videx form. Honestly, it's something you have to download from the German consulate website. I'll also add a disclaimer here. I don't know whether it has changed now because of the whole online digitalized process, but for my time we had to download the Videx form and fill it out, and then I filled mine online, but I think you can print it out, fill it, and scan it back in, but that was too much work, so I filled mine online. So it's called a Videx form, and then it comes with a declaration of some sort. You also have to fill out the declaration and then have that with you in paper format. And yeah, just go to the website and then you download it from there. And then I also had to have my birth certificate with me, my undergraduate degree, my undergraduate transcript, I think these weren't asked for, but I think I just added them just in case. My secondary school certificate or degree, that's A-level certificate, I even added my BC certificate, And then a CV in the Europass format. I have a video on that if you would like to know how to make a CV on a Europass CV. And then I also had a motivation letter. Yeah, it was like you're applying to a university, but this time you are doing the motivation letter for the visa consulate. So it's like you're letting them know why Germany, why this program, why this university, and all that. I have a video on that as well, how to write a motivation letter. This motivation letter, they needed one handwritten motivation letter, and had to be signed by you, and then the printed version. So you have to bring two versions with you, one handwritten one and one printed. And then my university admission letter, that's my master's program, my admission letter from the school in Germany. And then since I was a DAAD scholar and was compulsory to do a language program, I also had to have with me the language school admission letter as well. And then proof of English language that I got from my university in Ghana from the languages department. And then health insurance. This was provided to me by DAAD, so I just took that insurance letter with me. And as I mentioned, I didn't need to have with me a blocked account or something like that, because my scholarship certificates accounted for that. So yeah, and proof of work experience. So they asked for that. So I had to, the work I was doing in Ghana at that time, I had to present my employment letter, my recent, like 2 months recent pay slip, and then I also added my NSS certificate just in case. And then, as I mentioned, I didn't need to bring a proof of blocked account, so I just had my DAAD letter of award. That is the specific letter of award where they mention the duration of your scholarship and the amount of your scholarship. And then the scholarship certificate is like the one with your name and saying, oh, congratulations, you've been awarded this scholarship. So I brought 2 scholarship letters with me, one called the letter of award and one called the scholarship certificate. And then I also brought with me, since I mentioned them in my CV, I had to bring proof of them, online certificates. So I mentioned that I had an online certificate from YALI, that's Young African Leadership Initiative. I did some courses with them, so I had certificates. I also had some Google courses certificates I had done, so I had to bring those with me because they were on my CV, and if they asked for proof, I needed to show proof. So I printed all those certificates and brought them with me as well. And then I also printed all the emails I had with, or all the emails that DAAD had sent to me, and also that which the language school had sent to me. So besides all the letters and I had printed from them concerning scholarship, concerning other things, I also needed like proof of conversation, like back and forth with both DAAD and the language school. So I printed those as well, just in case. Yeah, so these were all the documents I had printed to bring with me to my visa appointment. I printed, just in case, I printed 2 of each, and they were all in color. And because they were a bit bulky, I had them in a pamphlet. I think the pamphlet is here. Yeah, this is my visa interview pamphlet, and this is how it was. I put like this. This is even an email. So all the email conversations I had with DAAD and the language school, I printed them all out, and then I placed them all here. This is the university admission letter, everything. I printed it and I put them here. And then just to like make it easier for the visa interviewer to like know where to look, I also even printed a context form, like a context thing here. So, and I numbered all the pages here. So like if you see page 1, you know what is in that page. If you look at page 2, you know what is in that page. Just like Yeah, so he can flip to wherever he wants concerning whatever he's looking for. So yeah, this is what I said. But then it didn't even, like, he didn't even take this. He just said, oh, I need this, I need that. So I eventually brought this back home with me anyway. So yeah, so let me tell you, these are all the documents I had brought with me. So let me tell you how was the experience. So I think my visa interview was for 9 a.m. I got there 5 a.m. but there were already people there. So I think I was like the second person or something. So I got there at 5 a.m. I sat down and waited and waited and waited. And the security guy came and like he separated us. He was like, those doing family reunion sit here, those doing going for like job employment or something sit here, those doing masters or education sit here. So he separated all of us, and that was even before you are called for your time. And he was like, okay, now that you are separated, bring out this document and put it here. Like, he was like, no folders are allowed in, and then all your documents shouldn't be stapled. Do not staple any of your documents, and your documents shouldn't be laminated. I hope by now you should know that we don't laminate documents anymore, so please make sure that none of your important documents are laminated. Anyway, so he was like, take this out. So you have to take it out like this and put it on your lap. And then he was like, take this other document out and put it under this. Like, he just told us like which documents are needed and which are not, so that you wouldn't have to like, you wouldn't go into like the interview and then be fumbling for which document to show first. So he just like guided us as to which document to have handy. And then he was like, make sure they are not stapled or anything. So I had all those, like, I had removed the documents he asked us to remove, and they were like with me. And then I was waiting. When would I be called? 9 a.m. came. I wasn't called. I was like, okay, maybe there are many people there. So I waited. I think I was called around 11 a.m. So I was finally called in, and then it's like a courtyard. You walk into the courtyard, and then you walk into the room, and then you will sit. It's like a living room sort of way. Like, they are like if you go to a dentist, the waiting area, that was how it was like. So I sat down on a seat, and then there are like booths where like the interviews are being conducted. So you can hear when they are talking to others and what they are asking, the questions they are asking, and how it's going, and you can even hear when someone gets rejected. So you are sitting in that waiting area, and the booths are just lined up. So it was, I think I also had a number or something of that sort. So it was finally my turn, and I got called into the booth to have my interview. So I went in and I was like, good morning, hello. He was like, hello. I was like, what's your name and what are you here for? I mentioned my name and what I'm here for. I said I'm here for an interview because I have a master's scholarship to study in Germany. So he asked for the documents that the security guard had already mentioned that we have handy. So I handed those documents to him. He asked for blocked account. I said, oh, I don't have it, but I am a DAAD scholar, so this is my scholarship letter, and this is my health insurance from DAAD. He was like, okay. So then he had all my documents with him, and now he was asking me questions. He was like, why did I choose this school? And by that time, you would have already handed him your motivation letter, your letter of last personal statement. So I think he can be looking through that and like following what you are saying, because all this information should be in your motivation letter. He was like, why did I choose this school? Why did I even choose Germany in the first place? So I was answering. And then he also asked, why did I choose this university? Why did I choose this program? And I answered. He was like, do you have any family in Germany? I was like, no. He was like, what state is my university in? I had learned even what the name of the chancellor was. What the name of the current chancellor of Germany was, I knew. So, and I had also learned like all the states in Germany, their names. just in case he asks me. So I mentioned the states my university is in, and then he even asked which modules will be offered in my program to see if I know like what I'm going to study. And he didn't ask me though, but I prepared like maybe if he asked me what lectures, the names of some of the lecturers and like their research focuses, I had also studied on that, but he didn't ask me. And he also asked what do I plan to do after the master's program. I said I plan to return back to my home country of Ghana and work in so and so organization and contribute to development in Ghana in so and so field. And yeah, I mentioned because you have to have a plan after your master's, so you have to let them know what that plan is. And he also asked when does the program start, when does the language school start, where will my language school be held, where will I be staying during the language course. He asked all that. And yeah, I think that was basically it. Thankfully, because I'm a DAAD scholar, he didn't really go into the finances of it all because everything was fully covered. So it was just the basic answers of what are you going to do in Germany and what is the program about and all that. And so my passport was taken from me, and they told me that I will receive a call to come back and take the passport, and I will know whether I had got rejected or not. Yeah, so that's how it went. Then I left the visa consulate. I think I left around like 1 p.m. So yeah, that's how my experience went with my visa interview and even getting an appointment and everything. I understand that as a DAAD scholar, the experience is wildly different from others because it's sort of fast tracked for you because you have been placed in a different category, and then there's not much hassle with finances and everything. So it moved fairly quickly as to others, and I know everyone's experience is not the same, but just sharing my experience in case you want to know how it goes, what kind of documents they need. And I will list all these documents in the description and in the comments, so you can just know at least what you should bring with you. And if you're also a DAAD scholar watching this video trying to prepare for your visa interview, I hope this has helped. If you have any questions, yeah, just put them in the comments down below, and I'll be so happy to help you out. And yeah, all the best, and yeah, may God be with you on your visa appointment day, and I wish you all the very best. Bye.